Hi guys, and welcome to Let's Talk Automotive, and today we've got something very special lined up for you, Pete.
Oh, I can't wait.
We're down in Port Elizabeth and we're here with Greg Blandford. He is the Director, Energy and E-Mobility, is that correct?
That's correct.
Awesome. Greg, thank you so much for having us here at the Rubicon offices. Brand new, just moved in. It looks awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys are probably wondering what we're doing here. We are here to drive the Tesla Model X today. But before we do that, we have to chat to the guy who made it all possible. Right, Greg, so tell us a little bit about yourself, Greg. How did you end up here?
So it's quite a long history. The company is, Rubicon is now 35 years old, just turned 35, and we've been primarily involved with the motor industry. So started in industrial automation. We're still involved with the motor industry very heavily, and PE being our base for that industry. And a number of years ago, we also looked at the renewable energy space and got involved around 2009 after the credit crunch, international credit crunch. And from there, got involved with the energy sector and most recently with e-mobility.
Amazing.
Oh, it's very awesome. I mean, Greg, I've obviously been on your website and had a look at some of the products that your company offers, and it's quite a vast bouquet of products. But the one that stood out for me was the Powerwall, the Tesla Powerwall.
Yes.
And I just wanted to ask you, when you talk about a Powerwall, you think maybe in terms of size that it's the size of a wall, but maybe if you can just take us through how big it is and what its capacity is.
Yeah, so maybe take one step back just to say that we're obviously very proud with our association with Tesla as their partner for energy products in South Africa. And that relationship stems back to around 2015.
Okay.
And maybe I'll share that story with you in a bit more detail some other time. But the product itself, yes, it's not very large. It's a very attractive looking product, and roughly dimensions wise around 700 odd millimeters in length, and I think it's about 500 mils wide. I just can't remember the dimensions also, but relatively
so it's not big,
small.
it's not a wall.
No, not massive, but in most cases can supply power to a medium-sized home, and it's scalable from 1 to 10 units depending on the size of the home, and maybe for some small commercial applications.
Yes,
that's awesome. So basically, it's I mean, obviously there's batteries and then there are batteries, and then there's the Powerwall.
Yeah. Because
you were explaining to us a little bit earlier that just even some of the software upgrades that are applied to the batteries can make a significant increase in their capacity. So this is obviously the premium way that you could possibly store energy from a battery point of view at your house.
Yeah, I mean, we've been involved in the industry for many years now, and when we came across Powerwall and just to see the capabilities of the product, it's a technology-based product. So the software behind the battery itself, which manages the power flow to the home, it's next level. I mean, there's nothing that I've seen which can compare to the quality firstly, and also the interactiveness of the software for an end user.
Amazing.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Have you ever met Elon Musk?
Not personally. So we were fortunate enough to attend the launch of the Gigafactory in Nevada back in 2016, and that was quite an event. So managed to see him, but not interact with him personally.
Sure. Yeah. But hopefully that comes. I mean, if he sees what you guys are doing in South Africa, as an ex-South African, he's got to surely come.
Maybe one day. One day.
Oh.
I want to get back to Rubicon before we move on quickly. I want to know, what are the products or services that you guys offer?
Yeah, so first and foremost, we're a sustainable technology company, but looking at various aspects of industry and the integration of those technologies. So if we look at our traditional business, which is industrial automation, it's high-tech products. It's not the standard type electrical products that you'd buy at a wholesaler. We supply those products as well, but we keep roughly 17 to 18,000 different products on the shelf across South Africa, and we service the business-to-business community, not end users.
Sure.
So we had warehouses in all the major centers across the country, and focused on any industry that has a process and technical process. So any robotics, vision systems, safety systems, we're involved with those.
Okay.
So that's the one section of the business. We've also got a lighting division, which looks after shopping centers. So all your high-end lighting systems for shopping centers, we provide that as well. And then it's the energy and e-mobility divisions on top of that.
Amazing.
So never a dull day in the life of Greg.
Never.
All right, Greg. So the burning question for me, and the reason why we're here is the Tesla Model X that you guys brought into the country, the only Tesla in South Africa, and I'm so excited and so privileged. We are so privileged.
It is. I mean, it's actually a bit of a life experience if you think about it. And the amount of people that have started to hate us as a result of getting to see this is incredible.
Yeah.
So the question is, why the Tesla, and why specifically the Model X, and not something that you guys have available in South Africa?
Well, for us, it's been a couple of reasons actually. So maybe let's give you three. So firstly, us being a partner with Tesla in South Africa for their energy products, we thought this is a great opportunity to market Powerwall and also the Megapack and PowerPack products. Because we're a business-to-business organization, often we can't reach the end user market, especially for Powerwall. It's difficult to get that narrative.
Sure.
So bringing the Model X creates a huge focus around the brand, the Tesla brand, and people want to know why we brought the vehicle into the country. It's a fancy vehicle, as you know. The Falcon Wing doors are spectacular. Wherever you park the vehicle, there's a gathering of people. People ask questions, why are we bringing this car in? And it's really around the marketing of Powerwall and to promote Powerwall products in South Africa, the energy products and the brand. So that's reason number one. Number two is we also engage with e-mobility. I'm responsible for e-mobility within the group, and we're going to be rolling out a EV charger infrastructure across South Africa. So we'll start deploying that infrastructure within the next 6 months, and it's really to herald the arrival of electric or e-mobility products into the country. And then thirdly, again, the vehicle creates quite a stir. So if we had brought any other EV into the country, you wouldn't have created as much awareness.
Yeah.
And for us, it's important that we as South Africans move ahead with the rest of the world when it comes to e-mobility. So we want to lobby government, get involved. We've joined some of the national organizations now to lobby government to get more involved, to get the infrastructure out, to get talking about e-mobility, about electric vehicles, and get industry mobilized, because I think that's where we need to be.
Sure. On that question, and with regards to the charging stations that you guys are going to roll out, is that linked to a specific brand or OEM, or is that something that you guys are supplying to everybody?
So we represent a few major brands, global brands. I can mention them, Delta being one of them. They're a big OEM.
Yeah.
EV Box and EO Charging. Those are the three brands that we represent in South Africa. And we will be deploying these chargers within South Africa over the next 6 months at various prime sites.
Okay.
Amazing.
So, obviously it's hot news. EVs are hot news. We've seen a lot of the manufacturers that have moved to committing to producing either vehicles that are all electrified or fully EV models. And so it's a question that's on everybody's lips. Let's take the South African context, and we know the challenges that we have with Eskom, and I think that's created a fair degree of skepticism amongst potential consumers out there. But what is your take on the practicality of bringing electric vehicles to South Africa, especially if we start to sell them on a mass production scale?
It's a very good question. I think that's one of the questions that get asked very commonly is especially with load shedding, the infrastructure with the Eskom municipalities, etc. So in many cases, we want to see EVs paired with renewable energy sources of electricity. So we've seen in the commercial sector, in the utility scale, and even for residential clients, they're starting to install more and more solar. And we see that longer term, we don't see any issues with infrastructure and EVs. If you look at in a context of the European market or even the American market, most people charge their vehicles at the office during the day, and that's when the sun is out. And I mean, South Africa is one of the best places in the world for solar energy. So there's no reason why South Africa could be a leader, especially in the African continent, when it comes to e-mobility. And then secondly, if you look at from a charging perspective, most people then also charge their vehicles at home. So if you take that sort of flow through, roughly 80 to 90% of charging happens between the office and home, and out on freeways or highways, the balance.
Sure.
And of course, one of the things that remains a possibility with EVs is that we can plug them into our houses so that during load shedding, we could actually run the household off our car.
Yeah, that's a very interesting one. I think that technology is probably a few years away. I know that some manufacturers, Nissan, have got that right. It's vehicle to grid technology. And I think with the development of the technology around battery packs, it will become possible. So essentially you're driving around with between a 50 kilowatt or 100 kilowatt hour battery pack, which could potentially power your home. I think the biggest issue around that is that because the battery pack is so expensive currently, potentially there could be damage done on the discharge of that battery to your home. Sure. And this is why manufacturers also don't want to do that at this stage. I think as the technology evolves, I think we'll start to see that transition over the next couple of years.
I mean, talking about technology, one of the things you showed us a little bit earlier was some of the really cool stuff on your app that you've got for the Tesla Model X on your phone.
So our lives are becoming more and more integrated. So everything happens on your phone these days. I mean, your banking, your emails, etc., etc. So if you look at current lifestyle products like for instance, bicycles, e-mountain biking has come to the forefront now.
Wow.
It's we're actually sponsoring one of these big e-mountain bike events in South Africa, and not just mountain biking, but your vehicle, your energy at home, your solar is all available as an app now on your phone. You can monitor those products. You can set them to discharge or charge as you wish. So you've got full control of that product. And I think this is highlighted or showcased within the Tesla app. So I can switch between the Tesla app for my Powerwall at home and the vehicle, and I can have full control of the vehicle via the phone, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So I think from a technology perspective, Tesla are at the cutting edge of what is possible with applications for lifestyle products.
I mean, one of the things that the motor industry is talking about as a future development is that they'll build all the cars with all the features already pre-built into the vehicles, but you have to switch them on and pay for them. And I see that already on the Tesla app. That's one of the functions. You can actually upgrade your vehicle via your smartphone.
Yeah. So currently, this vehicle we have is a Performance Edition Model X, and there are two upgrades that are available. One is an advanced autopilot function, and then full self-driving capabilities. I know that some of these functions are not legal in the country yet, but if they were legal, these were upgrades that we could then access via the app. And it's literally a credit card payment, and the download takes place via Wi-Fi, and the next day your car is fully self-driving. So it's astounding to see where the technology is going. Sure. And it's exciting. It's really a great time to be alive, actually.
Absolutely.
I mean, when it's time to trade in the vehicle, of course, you can quickly load a few apps to upgrade the vehicle and make the car worth a bit more.
But this is what's actually very interesting, is that from the day you purchase this vehicle to the day that you sell the vehicle, it's actually improved functionality. So either your battery pack, the amount of apps, the functionality of the vehicle is improved over time. It's like having an upgrade on your phone. Yeah. Same with your vehicle, and it's very unusual. Correct. Because the motor industry, you buy something that degrades over time. Yes. This vehicle upgrades over time.
Okay, I've got one final question.
Okay.
Is it a pool car, or do you get to drive it all the time?
At the moment, I'm getting to drive it all the time.
So you're the lucky
so we're
guy.
still busy with some details around the licensing and registration
Okay.
with the vehicle, with the Department of Transport. And once that's complete, then it will go into a sort of a carpool. But the vehicle will be traveling between within South Africa. The next stop will be Cape Town for a few months, and then Johannesburg, Durban, and back to PE, and it will be on a rotational basis. So based on the marketing campaigns that we will be running across the country.
Amazing.
Well, I've got to say, what a brilliant stroke of genius from your part to bring this vehicle, and it's certainly generated interest like you cannot believe. And we wish you all the very best with your marketing endeavors with the Tesla Model X going forward.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.